Budgeting. This is important for production designers to know that resources are not unlimited, and it is best, it should scale when you are able to achieve things with less. Not to put quality at the back burner, but to be able to achieve the same effect instead of exploding a real car, and that would cost about maybe $10,000. If you are able to get a good artist that explodes a miniature version of the exact looking car, then you have saved over $9,000 on the production. And this is what makes you a sought after production designer, and be able to sell the effect realistically. Sometimes less is more, and sometimes more is just what is required. So being able to work with the budget of the director, and if there is no budget in some cases, being able to be practical, taking the time out to scout these locations that actually deliver exactly what's in the director's minds. Ability and innovation. It is important for a production designer to remain adaptive and conscious of technological advancements in the industry and current trends in our world. We are in the age of AI and virtual reality, and a film made in this time should compose these elements of the time. When it's being worked in years, it will be a true reference or a depiction of what is happening. So it is important for production designer to be conscious of the trends in life, the trends that are happening, and incorporate these elements in your film, for it helps bring in that believability, and it helps stretch the cinematic experience. You must be conscious to these elements. What is the makeup that is trending now? What new fashion styles out there? What has Yeezy done? What does Kanye West put out? Or who is the artist that is relevant in that time? And if your film incorporates these elements, it helps for better connection with the audience. It's important as a production designer to be very conscious of cultural trends and immerse yourself into these trends so you can help depict it. What is the makeup like? What's happening now? What is the movement with women? What are they thinking? Is it feminism? Is it LGBTQ? You need to be conscious of these elements, and how best you incorporate in your film brings about the believability of the story. Character analysis. It is important to understand the characters in your story, what drives them, what are their motivations, and this helps inform the style or the character, and the style of the makeup, the costume, the hair, the lashes. The devil is in the detail. Understanding your characters, what drives them, helps inform the choices for production design, and what's behind the character. If it's an evil character, if it's someone that has a lot of perversions, the paintings available in the office space, the flower in the house, what is the shape of the ashtray? Is it a form of a sensual design of a man's genitalia? These details would help inform and tell the audience about the character. Only from the production design, only because of the makeup, you have an idea of the personality type. So it's important to analyze the characters for you to be able to properly depict them in a film. And in all of this, it is important to be consistent with the character. You must be consistent, unless there's an arc that is happening where there's a character transformation, but the consistency of the character, being true to the character. What's the costumes, the makeup, the background, the environment, all these help enhance the character in the picture. Being true to the character is very important as a production designer. Visualizing scenes. It's when listening to the director, you need to form an image in your mind of what you think that era looks like, or the place that he's describing. Is there a kettle there? Is it an abandoned property? You need to be able to visualize it and create a picture in your mind, and this would help guide and inform your decision in the choices that you make. Visualizing the story, working with the cinematographer to know where the angle, how the camera moves, how the characters will move in the scene, that is the blocking in relation to the camera, how the characters are moving, where does she sit, she walks to the window, when she walks out, where is the camera? You need to know this information to enable you set your props at strategic locations that will hit the visual cues in order to erupt the right emotion that you are going for in that scene. It's important that you do a thorough blocking process with the cinematographer to understand all of these details, so you can have strategic locations on which you would place your storytelling elements. Themes and tones. Understanding the theme and setting the tone of a film is very important in production design to have that consistency throughout the picture. If it's an elaborate design, if it's a minimalist style, depending on the theme that you choose, you should remain true to it. And using motifs, particular symbols or a particular style that characterize this picture, and being able to use it in a way that it relates to the story and it helps enhance each scene it's very important. Script analysis and visual interpretation. To interpret the script visually, you must thoroughly analyze it to understand the narrative structure that the director is coming with, how the director wants to tell the story, understanding that narrative structure, understanding the character acts, how the characters change in the film. Do they go from being a good person to a bad person? Does the person have an epiphany that brings about an invention? The emotional beats of the story. These are very key to laying the foundation of how the production design of the film would look. So it's important for production designers to work in depthly with the director, analyze the script thoroughly and in depthly in order for you to lay the foundation of how it would look, and being true to the story for itself, not because it looks like another work or something similar, but it's being true and liked for itself. And that's the only way, if you thoroughly understand the story, that you'll be able to truly uniquely interpret it and deliver it in a unique way that would stand out for itself. Research and referencing. I cannot stretch this part enough when it comes to production design for film. You're only as good as how much you know, how much you have delved into this production, how much you have given yourself, how much of it is a part of you. That begins to flow. And it only works when you do proper research. What village is the character from? What are the fruits what season in the film, the time at which it is placed? Those should inform, that enables the story tell itself. When you have built enough research materials and references, pictures, films, videos, seen anything that concerns that theme that you're working on. If it's a fashion movie, you definitely want to see a couple of biographies, read a couple of biographies about fashion artists. You want to, if it's a film about painting, you want to go and hang out with painters in like 3 cities and just absorb. And when you start communicating visually, you would see how much that you would be, how accurate that you would tell the story. So being authentic to the story, I can't stress research and how important it is for production designers to delve in real deeply into research and referencing. So when you meet your art directors, you have an exact picture of what you want, or similar pictures that you might have taken, similar looks booked, you have a clip of film to communicate these ideas that are authentic to the story that you're telling. research and referencing. You, at the end of your research and reference, you want to have a movie Bible, which is the production designer's Bible, which is something you and the director are the prophets that writes this work, where you have in there cards with exact colors. You're not going to, in the world of production design, you don't use words like red. You need to be specific, very specific. What kind of red color is it? Is it oxblood? You need to know the exact, and if you don't know the name of all these colors, have a color book, have the exact card. So when you give this to the set designer, you give this to the makeup artist, they are coming back with the exact color. And this is how you can be authentic to the story and make sure that there's a consistent visual feel across the design, across the atmosphere that you are creating in this cinematic world that you are bringing to life. In production design, in order to increase your reference material to truly get a unique picture, it is good to understand different visual styles, and history is one of the beautiful ways that you can truly bring unique visuals and motifs into your work. Understanding different civilizations like the Mesopotamia civilization, which is Greek for in between two rivers, about 4000 BC. Understanding the cultures then, what did they dress like, what were their symbols, what was it in ancient Egypt, in ancient China, ancient India, the Babylonian era, during the Roman Empire's reign. What was the art like? What were the dressings? What did the symbols and motifs that they used? This can all help. The more references you have, you can take elements from all these and join it into a new remix, remix it into a new style. And it's important to have these access or researching and looking at all of these references to help build something truly unique. So history is always advised that you do a lot of research into history, even though you're not working on a film that is about that time. You could borrow some elements from that truly make your picture stand out. So these are the research techniques that a production designer employs in order to expand his vocab, his visual vocab. And it's important that you delve in to cultures, festivals, events, just to get a taste more of cultural events, to get a taste of life happening and how it has changed over time. Videos, films, documentaries, anything that brought your visual scope. These are the methodologies or steps into proper research for a picture. Outside, way outside the scope of what the film is about, how deep you go into it, how far you go from it, and bringing all of these elements together to fuse and indeed create something unique. Collaboration with the director and other crew members. It is important to open a healthy communication line and run brainstorming sessions with your idea on how you see the scene and how you want to communicate it, and the props that would be available, what the cinematographer thinks about it, what the gaffer and how it works with the light, how it works with the characters, the functionality of these items. And if you have truly invested yourself on the project, in the project, it will be hard not to precipitate elements that flow with the story. You build enough research material, and in time the story starts to write itself. You kind of understand the characters. Immediately you see something, immediately you see something at the thrift shop or in the market or in the old house or at a friend's place. You can borrow it and use it for your production. You must be vast, you must be flexible, and these are the ways to be a unique production design artist in a way that your work stands out, that it is unique and it is true to the story that you're telling. Thanks for taking time to listen to this class. I hope that I've been able to take you on this journey into production design and understanding the key concepts and principles of creating truly unique film masterpieces. I hope that you go on to stretch this knowledge and do something that truly stands out and enhances the cinematic experience on the project that you get to work on. I'm Nelson Bright, and thank you for listening to my production design course.